Welcome to the Raspberry Pi Kit Build and Boot by Root9 Technologies. In this video, we'll walk through the steps of assembling the kit and booting it to the Raspberry Pi operating system and updating all the required software and do a quick walk through the usage. You will find links to all the components used and additional information in the description below. Please check the video's description, and if you do have any questions, please post it, and any recommendation, always put it in the comments. It does help me and others who review this video. Please check the unboxing video of the Raspberry Pi kit that I've used here in the description below. I think as per the documentation, it describes a step to install the case first and then install the heatsinks. However, looking at the case, I think it's a better idea to install the heatsinks first and then put it in the case because of the size of the heatsinks here. The kit does come with a fan module. We will be installing the fan module a little bit later in the video, and that does help with heavy usage. The kit comes with 3 heatsinks with different size. One is for the CPU, the other one is for the RAM, and the third is for the USB 3.0 controller. They do call out optional, but I highly recommend installing it, and the fan module as well. Make sure you clean the surface before you do any of this install. You need the adhesive to stick better to transfer the heat. So before you put the heatsinks in, find a lint-free cloth and just clean the surface, and no residues or any oily. Let's get the enclosure installed. The enclosure comes in 3 parts: the top, the bottom, and the middle. So you'll have to remove all these 3 separately before you start your install. And notice all the inserts there for the ports. And one important thing is, do not install the memory card before you completely assemble the kit. So the first thing, make sure you're aligning the memory card slot and just slide it in. It fits nicely, and then put the middle part on top of it. Make sure you pressing it gently. It should all fit nicely without any issues. And that also has a place for camera. We're not going to install the camera, but we are going to use the fan. And on the lid of the case, we have the fan insert. Make sure you insert it correctly. And when it comes to powering the fan, there are 2 options on the pinout. One is a 5 volt and a ground, that is number 4, and then number 6 is the ground. If you want this fan to run at a regular speed, and if you want to run it at a lower speed, then you use the option or pin number 1, and ground as always 6, and this will run the fan at a lower speed. Alright, and we can close the lid now. And now it's time to get the memory card installed. Before getting the memory card installed, ensure that the case is all tight. These are all the USB ports. You have two display ports, one USB-C power port, and you have a USB 3, two USB 3 ports and two USB 2 ports. Make sure all the wire is not in the middle. Alright, now it's time to install the micro SD card. In most cases, when you buy a kit, the card comes preloaded with knobs, which is new out of the box software. You will get an option during the boot up to install either the Raspberry Pi operating system or LibreELEC, which is a Kodi based operating system, or for Kodi. Unfortunately, my monitor did not have an HDMI display port. It had DVI and a display port. So I had to buy an additional adapter which converted the DVI to HDMI. The power adapter cable came in two parts. The first part is just the short cable with the power on and off switch. And let's connect the micro HDMI cables. It does come with two ports. For the purpose of this video, I'm only using one port. And let's connect the other part of the power cable. This is a USB-C power cable. And the kit also came with a card reader. As this already had the operating system loaded on the card, I did not have to use this. However, this is a very small card reader. Just insert the micro SD card in and plug it to your USB port. This is very useful when you do have to change the operating system, but for my video I did not have to use that. This is a direct shot of the monitor, and we have connected the power and the display cable. The Raspberry Pi is booting. And just as a reminder, the card does come with an operating system ready to go if you install it. And by default, you'll see two options, the Raspberry Pi and the LibreELEC. And you can choose to either install one of them, or you also do have an option to connect to an Wi-Fi network and download more of the options, which you'll see here in a minute. Out of all the options, I went with the default option for this video. And once you select the operating system, you can install it, and this will erase everything, and your installation starts. This goes for a while, and I'm going to skip through the whole installation part and get to the end. We do have the technology to make this faster in our video. So we're going to kick it in high gear. And we are done. And time to reboot the system. Welcome to your first boot of the operating system. Just going through a couple of options, trying to look at the browser. This is my first time on the operating system. Making sure the network is working before we start any updates. Right, there's the browser. Hope it all works. Alright, as always, your test site is google.com, and there it goes. Oh, now. Alright, looks like we have our networking and going through some basic setup. I'm guessing this comes from UK, so the default setting is UK. And the next step is to set your password up. Password 123 is a very good choice if you want to use it. The next step is to update the system. This update can go over an hour. It all depends on which operating system was on your card, how old it is, but plan for a good hour to download and install all the new updates and make your operating system current. Now it's all done. Time for the next reboot. And after this reboot, we should have everything updated. I've used a lot of Linux distributions, but Raspberry Pi OS, this is the first time. And let's explore some of the apps it has. But at the first look, it looks like very close to Ubuntu. To play your videos and media files, we have the VLC media player. That's one of the most versatile media players around. Let's explore some of the apps. That's the terminal, the file browser. We also have an Office suite with presentations, charts, spreadsheets, and all of it. I haven't used it much, but as I learn, I'll put more videos on it. But from the first look, this is really very useful, and I'm planning to use this as my desktop replacement that I have currently and see how it goes. But I think the browsing, minimal dock work, this should be a very excellent app for it. Thanks for watching this video. Hope this video was helpful. If you like this video and would like to see more, please like and subscribe.